I've got a funny, hopefully it'll be funny. I haven't read through it all yet. Post on Reddit that's kind of older, and it says, I found it on, I think you guys probably already know of this one, but it's called Jesus Christ Reddit, and it's like really inappropriate, like horrible things that you see there. Yeah. And so I was looking at that, and this one's called, Wife told me she wanted to experiment. I obliged. Then she attempted to eat my feces. And so is that worth reading?
Yes.
Okay. Throwaway account because my wife follows my regular account here. I'm 28, my 28M, wife 26F. I don't know how you're supposed to read that. And I have admittedly had very vanilla sex throughout our 3-year marriage. We had our first kid a year ago, and it seriously slowed down our sex life. However, a little under a month ago, she approached me about trying new things. She's been hanging out with a group of moms in our neighborhood, and one of them told her that she and her husband tried pegging, and it had completely transformed their marriage. My wife told me that she wanted to try pegging as well to spice things up. At first, I thought it was a joke, but soon realized she actually wanted to peg me. I'd never done ass play before, and had always lived by the philosophy that the anus is solely an exit. My wife made it clear that this was important to her, so a few days later, I obliged. The next week, she pegged me, and everything was surprisingly enjoyable. Additionally, the week following, the pegging was one of the best weeks we've had together since the birth of our child.
I really thought he was going to say that his bowel movements were better than they were previously.
No, it was just the best week since the birth
better
of
than
our child. Yeah. His first words, fine. Getting plowed in the ass by my wife with a plastic dick. Tops. We were back to our old sex life, doing things like having sex before work and even waking each other up with head. However, that next weekend, she told me she wanted to peg me again. I was slightly confused as to why this last week of sex wasn't cutting it for her, but I agreed. That's when things took an extreme turn. During the second pegging, while my wife was inside of me, she grabbed my hair, craned my neck to the right, and pressed our foreheads together. I had never seen her take control like this and thought it was very hot until she looked me in the eye and whispered, I want your shit. I pulled my face away and asked her to repeat, and she said, I want you to shit on me. I pushed her off of me and asked if she was joking, and she started crying. I felt like a fucking dick because she thought I was kink-shaming her. In a way, I was, because I thought that request was far too extreme. I ended up leaving for the night and stayed with one of my close friends, but didn't tell him what happened. After that incident, my wife and I hardly talked all week unless it related to our son. At the end of the week, I asked my wife to talk about what happened. She told me again that she wanted to shit on she told me again she wanted me to shit on her and that it meant a lot to her. I thought it was sickening, but she claimed this was her deepest, darkest kink. I couldn't understand how and why my shit excited her, but she insisted that she's always wanted this. We fought about it for a week, and after watching some scat porn and reading articles from people who also shared this kink, I tried to put myself in my wife's shoes. I told her that I will shit on her if that's what will turn her on. She was so happy, and even though I was still completely nauseated by the desire, I wanted to satisfy her. That brings us to tonight. We were having sex for the first time this week when I regrettably confessed to her that I had to take shit. She perked up with a smile, sensed my discomfort, and began stroking my hair and whispering encouraging things to me. I still really didn't want to go through with it, but since I promised her, I pulled out and we ran to the bathroom. She got into the bathtub, and I hung my ass over the side of the tub. She got into the bathtub, and I hung my ass over the side of the tub. I started pushing, but unsurprisingly found it very difficult to successfully shit on my wife. I turned my head around to see my wife staring up and smiling at me, waiting for me to finish. With enough time, I was finally able to get a turd to start coming out. I could hear my wife breathing heavier beneath me as my asshole started to open. However, before the turd was able to drop on her chest, I felt a sensation around my asshole. I turned and saw my wife, the love of my life, the mother of my son, attempting to catch my turd in her mouth as it fell out of my asshole. I was horrified that she would try to do this and tried to pull the shit back into my body so she couldn't receive it in her mouth.
How selfish.
Seeing what looked like an attempt by her to eat my shit brought me close to throwing up. As I clenched my butt cheeks together to try and stop the shit from reaching my wife, the clenching cut off a very small piece of shit, and I heard it land somewhere beneath me. I was too scared and disgusted to look at my wife to see what she'd done with it, so I ran to the other bathroom to clean myself. As I was sitting in the other bathroom thinking about how I will ever be able to look in my wife in the eye again, I heard footsteps approaching. My wife lightly knocked on the door. I didn't respond and was on the verge of throwing up the more I thought about what had just happened. She walked away, and I got a text from her thanking me for fulfilling her wish and asked me to come to bed. I've been sitting in the living room typing this. Yeah. I've been sitting in the living room Fuck!
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I clicked that. I've been sitting in the living room typing this for the last half hour, scared to face my wife. We have plans to take our son to the zoo with another family tomorrow, but I don't think I can look at her after what she just did. I feel deceived and violated by the woman I love and trust. During our initial conversations about this, there was never a question that my shit would go anywhere other than her chest. She knew how uncomfortable I was with this in the first place, yet she still tried to push the boundary that we'd established. I would appreciate feedback from any blah, 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 blah. Don't care about that. So,
all right, let's give some advice to this guy. There were moments in this where I thought, hey, what am I going to say? Not everything you do is your favorite thing. But she's asking for a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wildly inappropriate. Especially if you've firmly agreed the shit will go no further than the chest, and you turn around and see her gobbling on it.
Look, I'm disgusted by the whole thing personally, but I'd shit in her mouth. You know,
you're just
I would
a
be
good
worried
lover,
that
Kyle. A kind, generous lover.
You know what? Yeah, my wife, whatever. I don't care who it is, but I would be like, what do you want me to eat today? You know, like I got a real hankering for Chipotle, but I don't think that's gonna make for a fun experience for you.
Here's the thing in my head.
Oatmeal.
It's like if I poop in your mouth, we need to have a common understanding that I find your mouth unsexy for several days. Right?
What?
Like
I don't on, little smart mouth. Look, smart mouth combines.
It's a binurdal. What is it? A bi what compound? A bi.
Two liquid solution
that allows you to shit in a woman's mouth and do it carefree because it kills all of the oral bacteria that will certainly be breeding fervently within.
I hope they appreciate the second read we're doing.
Can you imagine what her breath smelled? Well, her breath probably smelled like shit. Yeah,
that's my thing. Yeah. If I poop in her mouth, you got to like. I don't want to kiss you after sex. I might not want to kiss you tomorrow.
I'm totally on board with that. You're right. Like dude, poop is so fucking gross. Like implementing that at all into sex.
It's about the grossest thing.
It's revolting.
It's the grossest thing.
I
would prefer. I
would drink swamp water first.
The thing about blood, though, like I was about to say blood play, but like, I think I'd rather do poop than blood because there's something about like even being into because there's like harm that comes from that has to transpire for their
blood is less gross. But the way that you get it is not okay.
There's something wrong about the way you get it. That we're doing harm and so much harm that we're breaking the skin to acquire the blood.
What if it was pig's blood? What if you got it in like IV bags and did blood play?
What are we gonna do with it exactly? Like just roll around in it?
Spread around, slip and slide.
God,
that might be better than poop to me. I don't know.
It's not for me. No, I don't care for blood very much. I don't want poop on me. Okay, but I will poop on her if I have to.
Because you're a generous lover. I really think that's where it's coming from in Kyle.
It absolutely is. I really don't want to. If that's a private thing, I'm a little like I don't want you to know when I'm pooping. Like this is one area where I agree with Howard Stern 100%. He's like, my wife never knows when and if I shit. I have a private bathroom on the other side of the place. I go there, I do it. And I'm terrified while I'm in there that she might knock on the door and wonder what I'm doing in there. I don't want her to know that I do shit. And I feel like that's.
I have no problem with that. Like I'll tell my girlfriend I gotta go take a shit.
Well, that's not me.
I'm closer to Kyle and Howard on this. No, it's not that level of secrecy. My wife and I describe it as keeping the magic alive. If there's something gross about you, I try to keep it from her.
Yeah, you don't need to know that. Just
other people do it differently.
If you have a yeast infection, maybe keep that to yourself. Just be like, not today. You know, I don't need to know that there's yeast growing in your vagina and it smells bad today. Just be like, today's not the day. Okay, then. See you later. I'm not gonna delve further. And the same.
You don't want to know?
No, I don't.
Like not even in cute little language. Like, feel like I'm opening a brewery down there.
No, that would anger me. That would anger me.
You.
We
just use some euphemism, you know, like my wife might say, the office is closed for reconstruction. That could mean any number of things, but it means not now.
I like Shark Week as a euphemism. It's Shark Week. Not happening.
Yeah.
Either subscribe, donate,
10 years,
or get the fuck out.